Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the Sunrise Career Academy. As we all know, Sunrise Career Academy is the leading institute in Chitrakoot district, Uttar Pradesh, with a maximum number of selections. And this institute is run and managed by Captain S. Kumar sir, who is the managing director of Sunrise Career Academy, and also given 30 years of fabulous service in Indian Army. This is me, Siddhant, and I've done BTech in mechanical engineering, and also I'm an educator in Sunrise Career Academy. So these are some pics of our academy, and these are the selections given by us. Uh, these are these are some pics of our academy, and the address is given in the line. And if you want to make your career in Indian Army or any of the defense services, you can call us or you can join our academy. So without wasting time, let us discuss what we have to study today. So if we are talking about the syllabus, or if we are talking about the topic today, what we have to discuss today is our discussion on the comparison of the Indian constitutional scheme with that of other countries. We will do comparison between the constitutions of our India and other countries. So first of all, we have to discuss the comparison between British constitution and Indian constitution. So let us do the same, but first of all, let us see where these two countries lies on the map of India, or on the globe of sorry, not in the map of India, a map of world. So let us check out these two countries. See, this is the globe where all the countries are shown, and if we are talking about India, see, this is our India in the northern hemisphere. uh, and we have to discuss our Indian constitution with that of Britain constitution. So they see, this is on the again northern hemisphere, this is United Kingdom. And we also know that United Kingdom, that is England, ruled on us over 250 years in the past. So these are the positions of the two countries. This is England, and this is our India. Both the countries are lies on the northern hemisphere of the globe. See, if we looking on this map, we are watching this. This is our India. On the northern hemisphere, this is equator, and if we go through western countries, this is United Kingdom. These are the two countries on the map. So the map is very important if you are preparing for UPSC or civil services. Okay, now let us see the comparison of constitution between the two countries. So if we are talking about the comparison, one side we have British, and one side we have India. One of the most important feature of the British constitution is its unwritten character. Means British have its unwritten form of constitution, and if we are talking about India, we have the world lengthiest and written constitution. This is very important point if you are preparing for civil services. Okay, one of the most important feature of the British Constitution is its unwritten character. There is no such thing as written, precise, and compact, which may be called as the British Constitution. Okay, guys, this is very important. Many times this question has been asked in many forms of examinations. Okay, this is not necessary that this question has been asked, or this question will be asked in UPSC as well. No, you have to prepare this question for SSC 2 also. Okay, so let's go further. The main reason for this is that it is based on the conventions and political tradition which have not been laid down in any document, unlike a written constitution. Like when when our Indian constitution was made, there were a constitution assembly that drafted our constitution. But in term, if we are talking about British, they did not laid down any document. Then they didn't written any document, or they didn't printed any form of pages or any form of rules, like a written constitution, which is usually a product of a constituent assembly. It means they don't have in the past. In the past, there were no constituent assembly in the British, but if we are talking about India, we were have constitution assembly that drafted our Indian constitution. If we are talking about the British Constitution, the British Constitution is a specimen of the evolutionary development. It was never framed. This is very important. You have to make this in your mind that it was never framed. It was never framed by any one of the Constituent Assembly. It has an unbroken continuity of development over a period of more than thousands of years. They follow their culture, their rules with unwritten form from the past thousand of years. It is said that the British Constitution is a product of a wisdom and chance. This point is very important if you are preparing for the mains exam. That it is said that the British Constitution is a product of wisdom and chance. Here, if we are talking about India, the Indian Constitution has certain similarities. Okay, we have certain similarities with British, as we have drafted our constitution and taken some part of the British Constitution. So the Indian Constitution has certain similarities as well as difference on these particular aspects. It differs from the British Constitution to the extent that it is a written document and has well-defined provisions. We have well-defined provisions. Our constitution is written and our constitution is drafted by Constituent Assembly, which which was made by our Indian Constituent Assembly was made in 1946, and their first sitting was done in 9th December 1946. It differs it differs from our constituent or our Indian constitution is very different from the British constitution to the extent that it is a written document. Our constitution is a written document and was printed in on the books, on the pages, and has well defined provisions. However, it too is open to the evolution, given that the provision of the amendment is kept such as to allow the constitution to evolve according to the need and sensibility of time. When we needed that we have to amend our constitution, we amended that part, we added some articles, we deleted some articles. Okay, the next comparison between the constitutions of two countries is flexibility and rigidity. If we are talking about the British Constitution is very flexible. British Parliament can do everything in their constitution. The one thing is that which British can't do is it cannot change man into man and man into woman and woman into man. Otherwise, the British Parliament can do everything. So this is the flexibility of the British Constitution. Why this British Constitution is very flexible? Because they don't have written form of constitution. This is the very important point you have to write in the mains exam. Okay, if we are talking about our country India, our constitution have both forms, flexible and rigidity. If we are talking about flexible, our parliament has power to amend any section of the Indian Constitution, but our Supreme Court says Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution, but not the basic structure of doctrine of our Constitution. And if we are talking about the basic structure? What are the basic structures of our Constitution? Our basic structure is the fundamental rights which we cannot amend, we cannot short, we cannot delete any part of our fundamental rights, which we call in Hindi maulik adhikar. Okay, so if we are talking about the flexibility, British constitution is complete, fully flexible, and our Indian constitution have both of the forms, flexible as well as rigidity. Okay, so this you have to learn, and if you want to make the notes, you can pause the video and make notes. Okay, moving further, the British Constitution is a classical example of a flexible constitution. It can be passed, amended, and repealed by uh, simple majority. Only 50% of a members present and voting are compulsory to amend any part of the constitution. This is a form of flexible constitution. Okay, Since no distinction is made between a constitutional law and an ordinary law, both are treated alike. Okay, the element of a flexibility has provided the virtue of adaptability and adjustability to the British Constitution. Okay, if we compare this with our Indian Constitution is both flexible as rigid. This complements the basic ideology of the Indian Constitution quite well, wherein certain features like sovereignty, secularism, and republic we have been held sacrosanct. Means, as I have discussed earlier, that our parliament can amend anything which is written in the constitution, but our parliament cannot amend our basic structure. Our parliament cannot delete the basic structure of our constitution. And what is the basic structure? If I'm telling that the basic structure, what are the basic structure of our constitution? First, you have to remember that the basic structure of our constitution is fundamental rights, unit, federal type of government, okay, republic government, and like democratic government. Okay, let us discuss next feature, unitary and federal. The British Constitution has unitary character as opposed to a federal one. All the powers of a government are vested in the British Parliament. If you can say that the supreme power are vested in the British Parliament, not in the king, not on the king, which is a sovereign body. Executive organs of the state are subordinate to the parliament. Okay, so this is the very important feature of the British government, and we can say British government and British constitution is a unitary type of a constitution. Okay, the question has been asked many times in the UPSC civil services prelims that what type of constitution our India have. So we have federal type of a constitution, but in some case our constitution plays a very important role in like our constitution plays a unitary type of feature, like when president impose emergency all over the India, all the power vested in the central government in the hand of a president. So we can say we have unitary features as well as federal features. Okay, lekin if we are talking about if we are talking about legislation, there is only one legislature in England, Scotland, and Wales, and are administrative units and not politically autonomous unit. But if we are talking about India, we have two forms of government, one in the center and one in the state. Okay, let us discuss the unitary feature of Britain. In unitary feature, all the power lies with the center, and center delegates power to the provincial government. And the example of this is Britain. You have to remember this for prelims exams. And if we are talking about a federal, power for provincial government comes from the constitution. Example, our Indian constitution. Okay. Next we are talking about parliamentary executive. Parliamentary executive. This is one important similarity between the British and the Indian Constitution, that our parliamentary system is same. In addition to the sovereignty of parliament, Britain has a parliamentary form of a government. Britain has a parliamentary form of a government. We have also parliamentary form of government. Okay, but in Britain, the king who is sovereign has been deprived of all his powers and authority. The real functionaries are minister who belong to majority party in the parliament and remain in the office as long as they retain its confidence. This is also happen in India. All the power lies in the center, and in the position and in the term of a king we have president, and actual power lies in the hand of PM, or we can say cabinet, or we can say in the center, in the lower houses. Okay, Britain has parliamentary form of government. This we all know. Okay, the prime minister and his minister are responsible to the legislature. This also happen in our India for their act and policies. In this system, the executive and the legislature are not separated as in the presidential form of government. See, the this is the main reason. in the parliamentary form of government, the executive and legislature are not separated. But if we are talking about presidential form of government, the legislature and the executive are separated. For example, USA have presidential form of government. Okay. Now, the next topic is sovereignty of parliament. Sovereignty of parliament, in any exam, if it comes sovereignty of parliament, you have to understand that sovereignty of parliament means supreme power. Who have supreme power? That is parliament. Parliament of that country have supreme power. The term sovereignty means supreme power, a very important feature of the British constitution. Remember this. And supreme power in British, see, in British we have a king and we have a parliament, and many people confuse that who have the supreme power. It is king or it is a parliament. So always remember, the British Parliament have the supreme power, not the king. Okay, and why is this happen? Because they don't have written constitution. Okay, a very important feature of the British constitution is sovereignty of the British Parliament. A written constitution being absent, this feature is absent in the written form of the constitution. The British Parliament is the only legislative body in the country with unfettered power of the legislation. It can make, amend, or repeal any law. That I have discussed earlier, that British Parliament is so powerful that it only cannot do men. It cannot change men into women or women into men. Else it can do anything. Anything. It can amend any form, any article. It can amend any part of the constitution. Okay. Though in India, if we are talking about India, we have the legislature at the state level or at the center level too. Okay, see, we have two forms of government in the center level and in the state. Okay, so this you have to remember. The lawmaking power of the Indian Parliament roughly correspond to that of the British Parliament. Some of the features are same as the British Parliament, like lawmaking power. In India, the law-making power is vested with the parliament of a country. Likewise, the British Parliament make the law for their country. The court have no power to question the validity of the law passed by the British. See, this is the very negative point of that country, is that the court have no power to question the validity of the law passed by the British Parliament. The British Parliament may amend the constitution on its own authority, like an ordinary law of the land. It can make illegal what is legal and legalize what is illegal. This is very important point. This, see how much power they have. British Parliament, how much power they have. See, it can make legal what is illegal, and it make illegal what is legal. Okay, and if we are talking about our country, our judiciary system is very strong. Our judiciary system is very strong. As we all know, Supreme Court is the guarantor of our fundamental rights. Okay, our Supreme Court says, or we can say our Article 368 of our Indian Constitution says Parliament can amend anything. It can amend anything, but not the basic structure of our Indian Constitution. Okay. Uh, The basic structure cannot be amended by the Indian Parliament, lends the Indian judiciary further power to question the legality of the law in the light of the fact that the Supreme Court of India is the highest interpreter of the Constitution of India. Okay, so you have to remember this main point if you are talking about the Indian Constitution and British Constitution. See, if if we are really preparing for civil services, so we have to remember these comparisons. These comparison may be asked in prelims and mains as well. Okay, next part, rule of law. Rule of law. What we mean by this rule of law? So this is the main important feature of a British and our Indian Constitution. British Constitution is the rule of law, constitution or limited government. What is this means? Rule of law, constitution or limited government. It is this means that nobody is beyond the rule. The rule is applied for all. The law is applied for all, whether it is rich or whether it is poor. Okay. Another important feature of the British Constitution is the rule of law. Constitutionalism or limited government in the essence is the essence of a rule of law. This checks the arbitrary actions on the part of the executive. According to the Dicey, there was a person Dicey. There are three principles of rule of law. There are three principles of rule of law. What are these three principles? Let us discuss. Protections. Protections from the arbitrary arrest and the opportunity to defend oneself. Okay, if police have arrested any person, so that person have the full right to protect or to defend ourselves. Okay. Second point, equality before law. All persons are equal before the law, irrespective of their positions or rank. Equality before law is different from the concept of administrative law, which gives the immunity of various types of public servants. In the absence of a constitution and fundamental right in Britain, the judiciary protect these law. So this system is called the principle of commons law. Okay, this point you have to remember. The rights of a people in the Britain are guaranteed by the judiciary as well. We have India too. Our rights is guaranteed by Supreme Court. Our rights are guaranteed by Supreme Court. Okay, no one can delete or no one can inherit our rights. The people in the Britain enjoy the rights even in the absence of a bill of rights or fundamentals. Okay, it has been seen that the rule of law isn't practiced in real. Several reasons are attributed for it. And what are the reasons? Reasons are the growth of a administrative law, growth of a delegated legislation, internal and external emergencies. Okay, so these are the some attributes, reasons, several reasons of fundamental rights. Okay, so this is the difference between between the constitution of Indian constitution and British constitution, and I will be back with the second part of this video. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. Okay, one point is remaining. Independence of a judiciary. Independence of the judiciary. What is this talking about? The rule of law in Britain is safeguarded by the provision that judges can only be removed from office for serious misbehavior, and according to a procedure requiring to the consent of the both the House of the Parliament. So the judges are able to give their judgment without any fear. Judges are free. They can give any decision which is good for our country, which is not harmful for our country, because they are free. They are not bound by any parliamentary form of government. Okay, so stay tuned, guys. I'll be back with the next video. Thank you very much. And if you want to take admission on our academy, you can call us in 63868410333. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.